conveying something. Also spirituality or spiritual transmission. There might be several ways of doing it. There are different kinds of teachers that use different methods. My method is very much through singing. I've been a singer since I was a boy. And music also, but in this region we don't have any musical instruments, so we just sing. I just sing. To begin with, I'm going to sing a few songs. Will be some in Indian language, mostly Punjabi language. Some in Italian, because I've written many, many songs in Italian. I'm talking about spiritual songs, songs of love and devotion. And also, maybe in English at the end, some ones. So please try to be, again, attentive. Just follow what's happening. Let it sink inside of you. Because singing is melody, it's harmony. What is it? What do you create through singing or through music? You create melody and harmony. So let it sink inside of you, enjoy it, and relax, and just feel good. That's the purpose of this meeting, to feel good. That's all. My purpose is not to make people feel bad. I try to do things that make people feel good. And as she said, I'm doing this for 50 years. When I got involved with this story, I was 19 years old. Now I'm 74. So I don't like misusing my time. My time, I like to use it for a purpose. Especially at my age, I'm not interested in anything, really. If there is one thing which interests me, intrigues me, is leaving this world and going elsewhere. That's the only thing that really intrigues me at this time, at this moment, at this my age. So, so please listen with all of your attention and just absorb it. The first one, it's in Punjabi language. This is a song written by my Satguru. Which says, come beloved Satguru, come show me your face. Aj pyare Satguru aaja apni surat mainu vakha aaj pyare Satguru aaja apni surat mainu vakha Sidi Sadi Surat teri Pyari pyari Murat teri Cheyar Rabda जलवादी से दिले नुल बन पलते आजा आज पिया रे सतगुरु आजा अपनी सूरत मैनू वखा जा सोना माता चिट्टी पगड़ी नूरे चमके हारे लिव लगरी अंकिया पे मां प्याले भरिया बोरे बोते नूर पलते आजा प्यारे सतगुरु आजा अपनी सूरत मैनू वखा जा जुल्फा तेरिया रेशम तारा नूरे इलाई दिया दिन चमकारा इकबाल सिर दे उत्ता दोवे आलम बारा आजा आजा प्यारे सतगुरु आजा अपनी सूरत मैनू वखा जा मुकरा सुआवा सहज दुन बानी सुन सुन पावा कंत निशानी रसील बेनिया थी तुरी बली मितावन तपते हृदय दिया जा आज प्यारे सतगुरु आजा अपनी सूरत मैनू जा सूची दारी चतिते आवे बागी हो नूर बरसावे लाली नमदी बापाई मारे गरीबी सीख मन ते आजा, आजा प्यारे सतगुरु आजा, अपनी सूरत मैनू वखा जा, आजा प्यारे सतगुरु आजा, अपनी सूरत है आजा प्यारे सतगुरु आजा। Come below, Sadhguru, show me your face, your beautiful, beautiful face, your divine form. This is another one again in Punjabi language. This is from my second master. The first one was by Sant Kirpal Singh. This is by Sant Singh. I had two masters. Guru Kirpal me Gariyana, Guru Kirpal mere Gariyana, जैसे तुम सावन दीवाने मैं तेरा दीवाना, मैं तेरा दीवाना, गुरु कृपाल मेरे गारियाना, गुरु कृपाल मेरे गारियाना, जैसे तुम सावन दीवाने मैं तेरा दीवाना, मैं तेरा दीवाना, एक बार भी सच मन से जिसने तुझे दिया, बारे बारे जोली दोनों हाथों तुमने प्यार लुटाया, मेरे दौर तुम्हारे हाथों, तुम मेरे जीवन साथी, तुम मेरे जीवन साथी, तुम बागों के बाग थे तुम्हारा, तिकना ही मुझको ठुकराना, तिकना ही मुझको ठुकराना, मैं तेरा दीवाना, गुरु कृपाल मेरे गारियाना, गुरु कृपाल मेरे गारियाना, जैसे तुम सावन दीवाने मैं तेरा दीवाना, मैं तेरा दीवाना, शिव के जूते बेरों से प्यारे तुमने मजा उठाया, दुर्योधन के मेरे तज के सग विदुर का खाया, केवल दास नाई हूँ सतगुरु, मैं दासों का दास तुम्हारा, मैं दासों का दास तुम्हारा, जैसे सबकी लाज रखिए मेरी भी लाज रखाना, मेरी भी लाज रखाना, मैं तेरा दीवाना, गुरु कृपाल मेरे गारियाना, Guru Kirpal mere gariyana. जैसे तुम सावन दीवाने मैं तेरा दीवाना, मैं तेरा दीवाना. कैसे तुम्हें बुलाऊं सतगुरु, पता नहीं है ज्ञान नहीं. किस तरह का कोई तो खबर, मेरे पास की बात नहीं. पल पल के दर्शन को गुरु जी, प्यासी आंखें तरस रही है, प्यासी आंखें तरस रही है. यही बेनती है अजैब की, मुझे नहीं तरफाना, मुझे नहीं तरफाना. मैं तेरा दीवाना. गुरु कृपाल मेरे गरियाना, गुरु कृपाल मेरे गरियाना. जैसे तुम सावन दीवाने मैं तेरा दीवाना, मैं तेरा दीवाना. गुरु कृपाल मेरे गरियाना, गुरु कृपाल मेरे गरियाना. जैसे तुम सावन दीवाने मैं तेरा दीवाना, मैं तेरा दीवाना. Dear friend says, O Guru Kirpal, come to my home. Just as you were madly in love with someone that was his master, the same way I'm madly in love with you. So on the mystic path, love is a very important element. It is said God is love, God is many things, but mainly God is love. And to achieve union with this divine, infinite reality, we need to develop very intense love. So now is a song of mine called the roar of Nam, means the roar of the divine power. So this is in Italian, of course. Il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam. Quando per tua grazia s'affina la percezione, quando per tuo volere scende la benedizione, quando per tua grazia s'affina la percezione, quando per tuo volere scende la benedizione, noi ci sintonizziamo con il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il il rombo del Nam. Noi nulla facciamo, noi nulla possiamo, noi nulla facciamo, noi nulla possiamo, è solo per tua grazia che ci sintonizziamo. Facci sintonizzare con il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam. Permettici di sentire la voce del silenzio, la corrente sonora, la musica delle sfere. Permettici di sentire la voce del silenzio, la corrente sonora, la musica delle sfere. Facci sintonizzare con il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam. Di quest'ego siamo stanchi, dalla mente vogliamo affrancarci, uscire dalla gabbia della personalità che ci insabbia. Facci sintonizzare con il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam. In tua adorazione trascorriamo il nostro tempo, in tua contemplazione sondiamo il grande mistero. Facci sintonizzare con il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam. Vogliamo ascendere dall'umano al divino, vogliamo trascendere tutti i piani fino all'infinito. Vogliamo ascendere dall'umano al divino, vogliamo trascendere tutti i piani fino all'infinito. Facci sintonizzare con il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam, il rombo del Nam. There is a song by Kabir Sahib, who was a great poet and mystic of India, who says, there is no honor equal to the Guru in this world because he gives us what's invisible. So, how do we operate in this world? We do operate in this world through our body, of course, by which we are so identified that we think we are this body. Who are you? I am this body, this face, these eyes. But this is like a dress that we wear. Because at some point, all of us, willy-nilly, will have to leave this body. So if you are just this body, it's going to be problematic. It's going to be very limiting, this life, or very limited. Because that means that by the end of this body, by the last breathing we give out, everything is ended, everything is finished. So anything we have been, the most miserable person, the most poor person, the most crazy person of this world, the most cruel, the most learned, most ignorant, everybody ends up the same way. So one may wonder, why should I be good in this world? Better to be good because then I get some benefit for myself. But we know that there is a vast difference between a cruel person and a good person. There is a vast difference between people who do only bad in this world and to the humanity, and people who do a lot of good for the humanity. So it's, if everybody ends up the same way, it seems so irrational, so illogical, so confusing. Maybe the actions that we perform in this life, they have a consequence. They bring to us a corresponding result. Maybe when we breathe our last, it doesn't just end there. Because maybe we are not just his body. Maybe besides having a body and having a thinking mind, we are also consciousness. And consciousness is life. Life is a conscious phenomenon. And this consciousness, maybe it doesn't die in the body. We can call it soul, we can call it spirit, we can call it consciousness. Anyway, something immaterial, which is not this body, which is not this thinking mind. So maybe it's worthwhile studying, analyzing this aspect of life, consciousness. What is consciousness? It seems that consciousness is the engine of life, is what gives life to the body and to the mind, to the brain, the thinking machine. The machine in the body by which the thinking process happens. So it's worthwhile exploring the field of consciousness and try to understand what it is. Because then we have understood the most important aspect of life. Otherwise, we will leave this world not really understanding what life is all about, by missing the most important aspect of life. Because as we know, this body will be cremated or buried, it will become worms or ash. This mind is a very volatile something. It may be a healthy mind, it may be a sick mind, and anytime it may change. So if you rely just on the body and the mind, we are quite in a very miserable condition, in a very unstable, unsure condition. Because these are really very much subject to decay. If you don't discover what consciousness is, which is our real self, what we really are, then we are missing the whole point in this life. We just come here for nothing. Any pleasure we might enjoy through body and mind is nothing compared to the pleasure or the inner gratification that you get when you come in touch with the divine power. The mystical experience is superior to any kind of experiences that you may have. Because how you explain people who are maybe very rich, very wealthy, very important, at some point they are hit with the bullet of divine love and they change their life completely. They give up all the useless things of life and they stick to what's meaningful. So as I said, this song of Kabir says, Guru Saman Nahi Data Nahi Jagme. It means the Guru is the best giver in this world because he gives us what's invisible. And what's invisible? Consciousness is what's invisible. So, what's the purpose of a master, spiritual master? He's trying to give a transmission, a spiritual transmission to those people who relate to him, to make them spiritually alive. Because we are all spiritually dead. We think we are alive because we breathe, we think, but there's nothing comparing to what life may really be. And one really begins to live when he's awakened spiritually. You might have heard, if you have any Christian background or you are a Christian, the saying, learn to die so that you may begin to live. What does it mean? Learn to die so that you may begin to live. It means that if you don't learn how to die, you are not living. You are like a corpse. It's not real life. So when do we die and how do we die? What does it mean to die? Kill yourself so you begin to live? No, it means this. Dying, what is dying? Is consciousness or soul, spirit leaving the body. That's what happens when a person dies. The body is there, it becomes like a cold piece of flesh, lifeless. And the consciousness transcends. It goes into the beyond. It goes through a tunnel and ends up into the light. You may read stories of people who experience near-to-death experience. They all recount something similar. They just went above the body, maybe up at the ceiling at some point. They watch their body breathless, consider momentarily dead. Then they go across a tunnel, and they end up into a very bright light. There are many books of people who relate this experience of theirs, near to that experiences. So it's quite a wide phenomenon. So that's what happens when we leave the body at the time of death. And that's what is supposed to happen when we leave the body, when we go to a very deep state of meditation. So learn to die so that you may begin to live. It means learn to transcend this physical body while you are alive, because then you will really begin to live. Your perception of reality will become so widened, will become so intense, that then you will know what it is life. Before that, you will understand that you are really like a corpse, half alive, half dead. So the main purpose of we human beings living in this world is just this, learning how to die while alive. When we had meditation sitting with Sant Kirpal Singh, by my first master, he would very often begin like this: now we are here to learn how to die. And this experience that we may have, we may leave this body in deep meditation, go into the light, and then come back. And when you come back after such experience, you're not the same person anymore. And you can see these people who have had this experience, they are different than other people. They look different. So this is the greatest gift which may have in life. Coming in touch with what is transcendental, what transcends body and mind. Then our life will take a different turn. We will be led to have experiences which will take us gradually into becoming complete human beings. People who know what's all about this life. What's the purpose of life? Why do we come here? And what is the potential of us human beings? So I tell you, I had some experience when I was 19 years old. Before any meaningful change may happen into your life, you will have to go through a crisis. There is no way, usually, 99% of the cases, no way to really go through a deep, profound transformation if you first go through a very deep crisis with your existence, with yourself, with your body, with your mind, with everything that regards yourself. So when you go through a crisis like this, you try to find a purpose, to find a way to get out of it. So that's what happened to me. I went into a crisis at some point when I was 19. I was a boy who was very happy with his life before this. I had anything a boy may want to have. But at some point, I really didn't like myself anymore. I didn't like myself, I didn't like others. I didn't like the direction my life was going into. I understood that it was just pointless and meaningless. I understood myself to be a very idiot person, very stupid person with no purpose in life, just following, the trend of society, the fashion, and what people of my age were doing. So I come from the counterculture experience. So when I went through this crisis, at some point I was really worried for myself. How do I get out of this now? How do I find a solution? Because thoughts, they're very potent. And they were crowding my mind and pulling me down into a state of depression and maybe desperation. Up to a month ago, I was a very happy boy, no problem, My life was wonderful. I was happy with it. And then no more. So once I was in this state in which, these dark thoughts were crowding in my mind and pulling me down into a state of desperation. And I thought, how do I get out of this? How do I find a solution for this now? People usually go to where? To a psychologist, psychiatrist, take medicines. But when I was in this crisis, in that moment, and I asked myself, how to get out from this now? So it came a sentence, which I had been reading a few months before in a magazine. It was a magazine about yoga and spiritual experiences. And this sentence said, God is love, and love is the engine that moves the whole of life, something like this. So I began repeating this sentence in my mind like a mantra, like a saving anchor, because I began feeling good by repeating this sentence. And at some point, this descent, which I was having into my dark side of myself, it was like touching a spring, which just shoot me up into a state of consciousness, which was so bright, so intense, so luminous, so ecstatic, so blissful. And there I felt like, I just saw life for the first time for what it is. It's like having a magnifying lens by which you see so many aspects of life, which before you didn't even know exist, of life and of myself. So from then, my life changed completely. I stopped doing the foolish things which I was doing before. I went into a library about some 13 books about yoga, Buddhism, Christianity. I wanted to explore all these possible paths because that experience lasted for a certain period, but then gradually it withdrew. So I wanted to bring back that experience by any means, because that was the only time in which I really felt to be my real self and to have touched something very great. So that's how I began studying yoga, meditation. I began practicing yoga. I became a vegetarian. I gave up all possible distractions from life. I stopped going with my friends. Mostly I stayed home. That was in 1972. I stayed home, and for a year I tried to, practicing yoga, breathing exercises, meditation techniques, so as to bring back that state of consciousness. Sometimes I got very close to it. Many times no. And I realized what the mind is, what kind of an incredible wall that impedes us to see the reality. Because when the mind is crowded of thoughts, you can't really see the reality. You're like in a fog. You don't see anything. So sometimes I got close to that experience, but not quite the same. So in 1973, I decided to go to India because I was, in the books I was reading, especially one, The Synthesis of Yoga by Sri Aurobindo, I understood that there were still spiritual masters in India that could help me understand what was happening to me, what that experience was, and maybe bring it back. So I traveled to India I used to live in Milan at the time, which is North Italy. I went to South Italy by train. I took a boat. I went to Greece. Then I went to Istanbul. And there I found a group of boys, 5 of them, who were going to India by a van. I asked them if they gave me a lift. So they gave me a lift from Istanbul up to India. I was really very lucky. All the trip, it was like being on the palm of God. and really being taken care of about all the aspects. If I look back now, I see that any step which I took, any person I met, it was so well directed from high above. There were the right people, the right situations by which I could reach there where I eventually reached. And meet a wonderful person. There was Master Kirpal, who really transformed my life totally. So eventually, after a month of this travel, I arrived in India. I went up north in Rishikesh. I don't know if you've ever been in India. And there I met another boy, Italian boy, from Milan, the same town from which I came, who had met Sant Kirpal Singh already. So he gave me the address. So from Rishikesh, I went to Dehradun, where Master Kirpal had one of his ashrams. And this trip which I took really opened up such an incredible perception of reality, which I can say I started off being one person and from Rishikesh, and I reached there and I was a completely transformed person. The transformed in which way? As far as the perception of reality, of existence, of myself, and what's around us is concerned. So the closer I got to this place, the more my consciousness expanded, and I became so wide that I was really watching myself, wondering what's happening to you. So when I reached this place, eventually, I was on a bus, I got down the bus, and I look up the sky, and I saw like a dome of light covering the whole place. So I really thought to myself, oh my God, where I ended up? Am I still on this planet or where I am? Because when you are in this state of consciousness, your feet are on the ground, but you don't feel to be on the ground anymore. It's like you are a wave of consciousness spread into the space. So anyway, I went to this ashram, I met this master. I tell you, he was very tough with me. I don't tell you the whole story, but he really put me through such an intense test, which was kind of cruel, but very meaningful. With other people, he was very kind, very welcoming. With me, he was very cruel, because he knew he could do it, that I wouldn't live by any means. So he sent me 2 days, one after the other. He just told me to go away. I wasn't ready for that. But I just kept clinging to this man, because that state of consciousness I experienced when I reached there, it was the most extraordinary experience of my life. So I knew that it was a test. It came from very deep within. This revelation, this is a test for you. You have to go through it. Just keep insisting. So I kept going back. Eventually he accepted me. He gave me initiation on his path, which was the most extraordinary experience. And through this meeting, the experience which I had a year before in 1972, it was just like from 1 to 10, the intensity of perception which I developed after meeting this master. It was so intense, it was so incredible, that I could see the world in a completely different way. I could see the reality with eyes which were not these eyes of flesh, but was what is the third eye, or the spiritual eye, by which you see things which through these physical eyes you don't see. So, going back to that first sentence which I mentioned by Kabir, the Guru gives you what's invisible. That's very true. That's very true by my own experience. What I experienced by approaching this master, it was just the invisible, what you can see with these physical eyes, but with the spiritual eye. And then when you have an experience of this kind, so many of your problems, very deeply rooted problems, they just solve themselves by themselves. Because it's all a matter of level of consciousness. When we are in a certain level of consciousness, we experience ourselves in a certain way. And I tell you, we are very much under the weight of senses and mind. Because what drives life mostly for common beings? Senses and sensual pleasures. That's the only thing they know. And the other thing they know is this thinking mind, which for most of the people, I must say, is a diseased mind. It's a very conditioned mind, conditioned by so many factors. The family you have been born in, the education you've had, the religion you have been brought into or born into, and the culture in which you have been brought up. So all this brings a very powerful conditioning over our mind. And we think, we choose, we think the way we want, but we don't think the way we want, we don't choose anything. It's all determined by these drives, which are motivated by the culture, the family, the education, the religion in which we have been born. So what is a free man? A free man is the one who is above all of these. Who is not conditioned by anything. Because she has understood very deeply the play of life and the play that happens in we people. And the conditionings that we have. So we are born in a certain place, in a certain religion. So we understand ourselves to be Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, Muslims, Sikh, Jewish, whatever. But is it our choice? It's not our choice. We find ourselves in those situations. We identify ourselves with those situations. It's not what we are. So my master, Sant Kirpal, used to say, to be born in a religion might be good. To die in a religion, it's a malediction. Because if you have gone through the whole life and you haven't been able to disengage yourself from all of this conditioning, then your life has been useless. You're still a slave of the conditioning and situations in which you have been born. You think to be anything, but you're not. You have been made to be what you are. It's not your choice. So we are all victims of ourselves. So we have to wake up and try to find out what we really are. What's the purpose of this life? And we need to be brave, to be strong, and face ourselves, discriminate between what we are and what we are not, what's our choice and what's conditioning. So I must say, wake up, man. That's what I mean, sleeping. You are sleeping in your own convictions, in your own conditioning. Wake up, be yourself. Find out who you really are, what you really are. Because then you begin really to live a real free life. I was also born in a Christian family. My mother was very Catholic. So I was brought up in those convictions, doctrines and theologies. But then at some point when I was 15, I really analyzed the faith in which I was born and brought up. So what is this Christianity? What is the belief of this faith? Does it really fit with me? And I'm not going to go into the details, but I analyze it with very dispassionate eyes. And I decided this doesn't fit me. What is the main theologic concept of Christianity? There is a God that is all-powerful, omnipotent, omni this, omni that, everything possible, created all creation, but eventually comes into play Satan that takes up the whole show, does everything, and this God becomes meaningless. For most of the Christians, Satan is their God, because that's what they relate to all the time. So where is this God, all-powerful, omnipotent, when this other person, so to say, comes into play and takes over the whole show? To me, this seems to be madness. So it doesn't fit with my intelligence. So I refuse it. They are born only once in this world. You don't choose where you are born, in which family, in which culture, in which surroundings. Maybe you're born in the family of criminals, mad people, very low consciousness people. Accordingly, you become what you become, one of them. Then you die, and according to what you have done in that very life, it was not your choice, but was very much conditioned by the situations. If you have done good, you go to heaven. If you've done bad, you go to hell for eternity. So I thought, my God, a God like this is worse than I am. I can't believe in such a God. This is not a God of love. This is not a God of mercy. This is a cruel God. So I refuse it. And then, free from this conditioning, I look for truth through my own experience. I thought, this, I just put it aside. It doesn't fit with my intelligence. And I try to go through life, experience it, and find out for myself what truth of existence is. So when I met Master Kirpal, I really understood what truth of existence is. We are not this body, we are not this mind, we are not the religion we believe in. We are conscious entities, a drop of the ocean of all consciousness. And this supreme consciousness is love. And whether you believe it or not, you don't go to hell. Anything you do, you don't go to hell for eternity, because it's not possible. Because you are consciousness, a drop of the ocean of all consciousness. So you will have to go back sooner or later to this ocean of consciousness, because that's from where you come, and that's where you will return. So don't believe in these crazy, fearful doctrines of these religions, because they are just there to condition your mind, to make you fearful, unable to choose what to experience in life and the direction to take. and more or less the religions are the same. So I'm not a Christian, I'm not a Hindu, I'm not a Muslim, I'm not a Sikh, I'm just a seeker of truth. So was my advice and my, if I can call it teaching, is look for your own reality. Try to find out who you really are. Don't be conditioned by anything. And if something doesn't appeal to your logic, just refuse it. Have the courage to free yourself from any conditioning. Don't be fearful. If I take this choice, what my family, my relatives, my friends are going to think of me? Because that's the other problem. You take a certain direction in life, and then what's your father, your mother, your family, relatives, and friends are going to think of you. Be brave. Be yourself. Now, masters talk a lot about this freedom. Be free. That's a freedom. Disengage yourself from all these conditionings. Have the courage to live your own life according to what you really are, to what's appealing to you. Don't be conditioned by anybody and anything. Wake up. It's okay, I've been talking enough. You see, what I've been telling you, it may be logic or unlogic to you, it may appeal to your common sense or not. It doesn't matter. Look for your own truth. This is a stimulus to be brave, go through life, be yourself, and find out your own truth. So at this point, since I've been talking a lot about what a spiritual experience is and how we may get it, a spiritual experience is something which must happen inside of yourself. If you're able to disengage yourself a little bit from your body and your mind. So now you have a small meditation sitting. It's just a relaxing something. Something may happen to you or very special. Maybe nothing will happen to you very special. You just relax yourself. Meditation is, it can be for two purposes, mainly. Maybe many other purposes, but two main ones. One is to transcend this body and going into light and see that you're not this body, but you are consciousness, spirit, light. The other one is just more psychological. You relax yourself, you smooth down your thinking process, find some peace, and feel good. So, you might just relax and feel good, or you might have a spiritual experience. Depends on where you stand in your, let's say, spiritual evolution. And just see what happens. So we sing another song and try to tune in again with the melody, the harmony that radiates. What is a song? It's a frequency. What is music? It's frequency that vibrates into the air. It is said music, which is also singing, of course, it's the most abstract art. All the other arts have to do with something physical. You paint, you make a statue, whatever. Music is not physical. Frequencies, notes, vibrations that go into the air. So try to be receptive to this. let it sink inside of you. And usually these kind of songs, they're relaxing songs. And they help us develop our receptivity. That's what was the purpose of holy songs, mystic songs, or mystic music. Help you develop your receptivity to the divine power. So listen with your attention and try to tune in. Then I will guide you with how to go into deep meditation. So I'm going to sing this song I was mentioning, by Kabir Sahib, that is Guru Samana Data, that means there is no donor equal to the Guru in this world. He gives you what's invisible. जग में गुरु समान नहीं दाता, जग में गुरु समान नहीं दाता, वस्तु अगोचर दे सतगुरु ने, वस्तु अगोचर दे सतगुरु ने, बड़ी बताई बता जग में गुरु समान नहीं दाता, जग में गुरु समान नहीं दाता। काम क्रोध कैद कर राखे, काम क्रोध कैद कर राखे, लोभ कोलीनो नाता, जग में गुरु समान नाई दाता, जग में गुरु समान नाई दाता। कल करे सो आलय कर ले, कल करे सो आलय कर ले, फिर न मिले ये साथा, जग में गुरु समान नाई दाता, जग में गुरु समान नाई दाता। चौरासी में जाए परोगे, चौरासी में जाए परोगे, फिर भुक्त दिन और रात, जग में गुरु समान नाई दाता, जग में गुरु समान नाई दाता। शब्द पुकार पुकार कहते, शब्द पुकार पुकार कहते, कर ले संतान सा, जग में Guru saman nahi daata, jag mein Guru saman nahi daata. Sumare bandagi Are Sahib ki, Sumare bandagi Kare Sahib ki, Karni aaye mata, jag mein Guru saman nahi daata, jag mein Guru saman nahi daata. Kahe Kabir suno darman, Kahe Kabir suno darman, mano bachane amara, jag mein Guru saman nahi daata, jag mein Guru saman nahi daata. Pare da kol milo Satguru se, Pare da kol milo Satguru se, Haolo ke diyara, jag mein Guru saman nahi daata, jag mein Guru saman nahi daata, jag mein Guru saman nahi daata. So this whole song means the Guru is the greatest giver. He gives you what's invisible. Lust and anger have been in prison. Mind is also under control. What you want to do tomorrow, do it just now. Later on, you might not have this opportunity. Contemplate the lotus feet of Satguru. Then time will bow down in front of you. Kabir says, "O Dharman, listen, obey my words. Open the curtain and come into the divine kingdom." So that's what meditation wants us to experience. Opening the curtain, the veil, and meet the divine kingdom, experience the divine kingdom. Experience the divine light. So for doing so, we have to be able to withdraw our attention from all outside. We are so spread everywhere, always thinking about what was before, the past, and planning for the future. So we live in memories and fantasies, which is not reality. The past is no more. The future which we imagine has yet to come, and maybe will never come. So Kabir here says, what you want to do tomorrow, do it now. The only thing we have is the now, the living present. So we have to sink into the living presence, or the living present, by forgetting where we are, forgetting this body we are in, and stopping, smoothing down at least this thinking mind. So for doing so, we need to activate our attention. And we have to focus very well this attention in the middle of what we see in front of our forehead. This is the third eye, the mystical eye, which, if open to a certain degree, we may experience reality. So let's look steadily into the middle of what we see in front of our forehead. If you're able to keep looking steadily for just a few minutes, by reducing the flow of thoughts, which we may substitute by repeating a mantra if you're used to, or you may just repeat Satnam, eternal truth, divine love, whatever you want. But just try to stick to the thing you are repeating so as to smooth down the flow of thoughts and keep steadily looking in the middle of our forehead. So if you're able to keep this condition for just a few minutes, the inner vision will open. The darkness that we normally see when we close our eyes will disappear. And in its place, waves of light will come of different colors. No matter the color, just stay in the center. Keep repeating your mantra. And try to go deep into the light. This way you will be filled with bliss, with joy, with love. And if it becomes very powerful, very deep, then you're going to a state of ecstasy, which is supreme bliss. So let's keep meditating like this and see what happens. Savan. We can all sing. Savan. 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 Gurudeva Savan. Gurudeva Savan. Gurudeva Savan. Gurudeva Savan. Kirpal. 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 Gurudeva Kirpal. Gurudeva Kirpal. Gurudeva Kirpal. Gurudeva Kirpal. Ajaib. 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 Gurudeva Ajaib. Gurudeva Ajaib. Gurudeva Ajaib. Gurudeva Ajaib. Savan. 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 Gurudeva Savan. Gurudeva Savan. Gurudeva Savan. Gurudeva Savan. Kirpal. 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 Gurudeva Kirpal. Gurudeva Kirpal. Gurudeva Kirpal. Gurudeva Kirpal. Ajaib. 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 Gurudeva Ajaib. Gurudeva Ajaib. Gurudeva Ajaib. Gurudeva Ajaib. Savan. 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 Gurudeva Savan. Gurudeva Savan. Gurudeva Savan. Gurudeva Savan. Kirpal. Kirpal.
Kirpal, Kirpal, Gurudeva Kirpal, Gurudeva Kirpal, Gurudeva Kirpal, Gurudeva Kirpal, Ajaib, 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 Gurudeva Ajaib, Gurudeva Ajaib, Gurudeva, Gurudeva Ajaib, Gurudeva Ajaib, Gurudeva, Gurudeva Ajaib, Gurudeva Ajaib. My Guru's eyes, I dare to look into. My Guru's eyes, and walls and walls and walls unfold, and I am lost, sweetly lost, in my Guru's eyes. There is no charm in this world that can release me from the lesson learned there in my Guru's eyes, my Guru's eyes. There is no song sweet as this song I heard there in my Guru's eyes, my Guru's eyes, my Guru's eyes. And yet I dare to look away from my Guru's eyes, and walls and walls and walls came crumbling down around my feet. I was lost, hopelessly lost, without my Guru's eyes, my Guru's eyes, my Guru's eyes, my Guru's eyes. And darkness came where once there was light. The day was strange for me, bringing night, and tears without end stormed my soul in its flight, as I wept aloud for my Guru's eyes, for my Guru's eyes, my Guru's eyes. Let's sing together. My Guru's eyes, 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 and then my Guru's eyes, 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 my Guru's eyes.
So, to end this meeting, if anybody has any question about whatever I've been saying, whatever we have been doing, whatever you have experienced in your meditation, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Just you. Okay.
To make the appetite of people, because maybe somebody feels embarrassed to ask. But just came into my mind that I heard you many times talking in a public lecture, and I heard this expression many times, which you said, learn to dial while you are alive, so that you may begin to. And you said that meditation can have two purposes. That one is to go beyond the physical body, transcend the physical plane, and to experience what truth, reality is, what's beyond. And the other one is to relax. And well, my question is like that: what does the practice do in our everyday life? What's the effect, the direct effect on the everyday life? Because, okay, we get relaxed, or we go beyond and we experience truth, and then what? And then, I mean, you said also that the purpose of life is to learn to die, so that we be ready when the time comes and we can go really into the light. And whatever. But then, so what does the regular practice do? How can, I mean, so that what's the direct effect of regular practice, and what does it really bring in our life? Because, okay, I sit down to meditate, I have a nice experience, or I get relaxed. And then I stand up and go, and then I step into the same shoes like before. No? So what's the effect in our life, really?
Well, let's say like this. If you every morning get up a bit earlier, shake yourself up, get ready, wash your face, maybe drink a cup of tea. We can do some exercise also. I myself, when I get up in the morning, I do what I said up to now. Then I do some yoga asanas, which are very good for my body. Like 15 minutes like this. I always repeat the same because that's what's good for me. And then I sit down, I sing 2-3 songs as I've been doing now. And then I close my eyes and I go into deep meditation. And I feel wonderful. I feel charged up, fully awake, because no sleep. You don't have to sleep in meditation. Meditation is not sleeping. Sleeping is becoming unconscious. Meditating properly is become super conscious. Then, well, I am kind of a musician also, so I play my sitar for an hour maybe, or tampura, and sing some more songs. And then again, I meditate some. And the whole thing goes on maybe for 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours. I am retired, so I have time. Of course, if you work, maybe you don't have all this time. But anyway, in my life, even when I was working, I tell you, for 25 years of my life, I got up 3 o'clock in the morning. I meditated some 3 hours. I started my day. So how did I start my day after meditating these many hours? Very well. I feel charged up, I feel peaceful, I feel enthusiastic. Anything I do, it's a pleasure for me. I live in the country. I do gardening. I have 300 olive trees. I prune them. I do the work which I need to do for them. When they are to be picked up, I do. I have a garden, vegetables garden, and it's a pleasure for me because these are plants that I see them being born, growing, and then they become me. I have a goat who is crazy like all the goats, but very nice. So I take care of her also. And I do cooking, I do washing dishes. I like to wash my clothes, even if I have a washing machine, but most of my clothes I wash them by myself because I like doing it. Because to me, living a life is not just machines, pushing buttons. It's doing things. Live your life with your hands, with your body, with your mind, with your soul, with everything. Don't just push buttons. This allows me to live a life. I'm very happy in my life, really. I'm very happy with where I live, what I do, and I like doing anything. Then sometimes we have retreats, intense meditation retreats for a week. And it's wonderful because when you have 7 days like this, in which you meditate 7 hours every day, by the end of this week, you feel fantastic. You feel like going through a washing machine. Now we use a washing machine. And you get out clean. Clean of all the dirt which your mind, your thoughts, your crazy emotions, negative emotions bring about. I've been a therapist, an Ayurvedic therapist, for most of my life. I've been working with many people, really blessing them through my therapies and through the songs which I always sang during my therapies. So that's my life. That's been my life, and that's what it is, my life. And I think anybody that does spiritual practice regularly, as I have been doing now for more than 50 years, you will have a blissful, fulfilling, happy life. Because being a mystic or a spiritual person, it doesn't mean to be a sad person. You have to be very happy and very joyful, otherwise there's no purpose. So that's, what can we talk about? About what we know and what we experience. So this is my experience. This is my life. So don't let your life go on without a purpose, without a goal. Set a goal for yourself. Try to achieve it. This society nowadays is so miserable. We get so many inputs through these mobile telephones, internet, so many inputs that make us so confused. Always spread in all possible directions. It's a worry for this society. So many people are on medicaments. So many people are depressed. So many people commit suicide. So many people want a war to destroy their planet. Where are we going? Do we realize that any moment we can all be burned alive? We are in a historic moment in which, in half an hour, this whole planet may be reduced into ashes, and the whole humanity. So don't play with your life. As far as you have time, try to do something meaningful, something good with it. This is a very crucial moment in history. There are some very cruel people who want to destroy this planet, who want to destroy this humanity, because they don't want to give up their power. And rather we all die than losing their power. Or share it with others. And we from the West, we are the most shameful people on the planet. Yeah. Especially the European ones. They are the cause of all the problems. They have been and they are. This Western civilized world, it's a shame. So don't be depressed because of this. Boost your spirit up. It's okay. Even if you all die, what does it matter?
We have to quickly learn it before.
But you know what you do? Before you die, learn to die while you're alive. Then it's good. Then you die and you know where you're going.
So I have another question.
Oh la la, okay.
So I want also to share with everyone that I went to you, so I began to meditate with you, I learned to meditate with you, and also now I am not with you, I can meditate because I learned it from you. So you gave me the tools, you gave me the method. And like from the practical point of view, somebody would like, because I hear many people who say, I'm interested in meditation, but maybe it seems like too big step for them to go on a path, or like, it's just too much. But if somebody would like to begin with the small steps, not like jumps like you were able to do, but so what should one do if would like to meditate and feel better and maybe to learn to die while alive, or just to relax? Because, I mean, it's not enough of wanting to do something, but then what should people do if they would like to?
Well,
meditation.
Meditation is like starting a fire. Let's give this example. If you want to start a fire and you put just one piece of wood, very difficult to start a fire. If you put more pieces of wood, smaller ones, middle-sized ones, bigger ones, then with a match and some paper, start it, and you have such a fire. So meditation is the same. We can't do it alone. In most of the cases, unless you are really blessed with, super experiences. Now, not to praise myself, but to praise my master. When I met Sant Kirpal Singh and he gave me initiation in India, after returning to Italy, I was so keen into meditation that I couldn't do anything. So I thought, how am I going to live, my God? Because I couldn't really function in this world. So situation was created in my life which I could sit for 2 long years, and I'm not joking, and I'm not exaggerating. For 2 long years, I sat all day long in meditation. Because for me, I had 3 meditation meetings and the day was gone. Because I sat down and 3 hours, 4 hours passed by, I was not even aware of it. So that's a case. That's, unfortunately, I must say, very rare. But when we learn the process, we can do it alone, of course. Most of the time, we're alone at home. So, as I said, we get up a bit earlier in the morning, get ready, at least sit down 15, half an hour every day, and find your peace, relax, and maybe you'll be blessed with something higher. But then it's also very important to come together with a group. As I said, starting a fire with 1 piece is difficult, but more pieces together, you start a fire. And the same is with meditation. When more people come together, if you read anything or listen anything from the Christian, because Christianity is a very huge system. There are teachings which are just some kind of meaningless, I would say, but there are also some which are very mystic and very real. So it is said, among several sayings, when 2 or more come together in my name, then I am there with them. I am in them. So that's how it goes. When more seekers of truth come together and meditate together, that creates an atmosphere which is conducive for the whole group to have a meditation session, more fruitful and efficient meditation. So, if you're interested in this, there is a group here in Malta. There are few of them, but you can join them when you can come in touch with them, join together, and sometimes have a meditation session together. Once in a week, once in 2 weeks, in a month, whatever. But it's very good sometimes to come together with people who do meditation and join in and have a better quality session. That's it.
There is also the podcast.
Yes, then there is we publish a daily meditation podcast in which so many meditation sittings have been recorded. As the one I gave now, for instance. So many meditation sittings of this kind have been recorded, and you can find it on YouTube. What the name?
Well, you can find on our podcast directories also on YouTube. It's called the Daily Guidance Meditation Podcast. Easy to find.
So every morning there is a new session published, and if you listen to it, I also listen to myself, and I sit to meditation very often for meditation, and it's helpful. Really, it's really helpful. It helps me also, so it can help everybody. So, said this, I don't want to take more of your time. You can have lunch if you want. I think they can offer you something to eat if you stay. And this afternoon we are going to have a bit longer meditation session here. What time?
At 4:30.
At 4:30. So if you want to come back, you're welcome. And God bless you. I want to add one more thing. Beside everything I said, the thing that really helps on the spiritual path is having the good luck of really falling in love with your master. I had this wonderful good luck. I met Sant Kirpal Singh. He was 80 years old when I met him, and I was 20 years old. But I fell in love with this man madly. And for me, it became like a living reality. And where I was in my life, whatever I was doing, it was so much supported by his presence. For me, it was like a living reality. And it really helped me and inspired me a lot to go through life and do whatever I have been doing in all these 53 years since I met him. Then he died after 1 year and a half. In 1974, he died. I met him on 2 occasions. And then I joined with one of his disciples who used to live in Thar desert of Rajasthan, who was called Sant Singh. And with him also I had such a wonderful love story. For 20 years, I attended so many of his retreats in Rajasthan and in the West, when he took tours to the West in America, in Europe. And he told me to start an ashram in Italy after I met him. So I started an ashram, and I've been working on this place since 1979. Now it's a very nice place. We have retreats there every year, number of them. So also this is a good experience. If you feel like and you want, you can come for a retreat with us at the ashram. It's a very wonderful experience. It's a very wonderful place. And also with Sant Singh, I have such a wonderful love story, very close to him. I was his Italian representative. I began giving initiation for him when I was 25 years old in 1977. And I've been giving initiation all this time since then, on this path. And it has been a wonderful love story. There are many stories about associating with gurus, which is good, this and that. In my experience, it has been the most wonderful experience of my life, the best I could dream of. Very selfless people, very loving people, very good teachers that really shake you to the core when it's needed and wake you up when you're sleeping, because we tend to keep falling asleep. So that's the good thing of Guru. What does the word Guru means? The one that shows the light, that takes you from darkness to the light. So my association with my masters has been of this kind, always waking me up to the light, out of my darkness. So that's a very important aspect also of this adventure. No, it's okay.